Scott Davenport.
Let me close my door, Spencer Pablo. Photographers are now in cars.
Yes, we are. Well,
yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
I keep playing with this thing because I think I had like last night I was drinking some chocolate and then I spilled it on myself.
This is already getting weird. Playing with this thing, I was drinking chocolate. I was eating water.
Or I'm drooling and I just don't realize there's a, I don't know.
Now he's drooling chocolate.
I don't know what it is. Anyway, good day to you. People.
So that's I guess that's kind of apropos for this topic, which is surprise.
Rando episode.
Yeah, I did not know you drooled chocolate. That is very surprising to me.
Yeah, to the wash this goes as soon as I get home. So, hello.
Yes, greetings and salutations. So, you had a thing. You had two things in our list of stuff we should talk about, which incidentally, if people want to hear something about photography, about us, drop it in the comments or send us a message through the website, photographersincars.com. And so you had this thing about what would people find surprising about you? You had a phrase that honestly sounded like a thing out of a magazine, or a BuzzFeed quiz.
Oh, you're right.
Thing, right?
Oh, yeah.
People would be surprised to know blank your ... or so forth.
So we have this document that we just keep maintaining, and we're like, hey, what kind of things, questions people give us or things we have ideas. And there was one, they're like, what are we going to talk about today? And it said, people would be surprised to find out that we ...
Uh-huh.
So I'm going to ask that question. Hey, Scott Davenport, people would be surprised to find that you...
Yeah. So that one, I actually struggle with this. And you said, I was like, I don't really know. I mean, actually, something has come into my mind in the 2 minutes.
Whoa!
And it's that, and this is probably not a surprise to people that watch this podcast or listen to it, but for people that are more familiar with me through my other YouTube stuff, when they come to a workshop or meet me in person, they're usually surprised to find out how sarcastic I am. And that usually throws people off at first because, I have a very dry sense of humor, dry delivery. And the first few hours of a workshop, people aren't sure, is he joking? Or is he just, it throws people off. I've had a few folks say that to me. I was like, I didn't realize, this is your personality. Because, you're teaching something on a video or something like that. It's like, well, here's how it is. And it's only so exciting to how exciting can you make a slider.
Yeah, you need to bring the people who watch those videos over to see these videos, and then they'll better understand who you are. But
maybe
I can see that.
So maybe that might be the thing that some people are surprised to find out.
I've seen you do workshops, and I have seen you drop a few of those, and I'm like, oh, I'm used to that. And then I'll look around, and I'm like, oh.
Everyone else is surprised.
They're like, what?
I did have someone ask me after one of the workshops if I would do I do these videos like live edits where I just turn on record, start editing a photo I've never worked on.
Yeah.
But they wanted me to do it with that faux Eastern European goofy accent, Einslow.
Oh, they wanted you to do that?
To do the whole video like that. I was like, we'll see. So I don't know. But yeah, so what about you? What would people be surprised to know about you, Sir Spencer Pablo, which you have been knighted since the beginning of this podcast?
Oh, thank you. Thank you. That's, I don't know. I don't know why we have that on there, but let me see.
I know I didn't write it.
I'm a plus size male model. That's it. If you, I don't know, if you Google me and you'll find these pictures, because a lot of times the models,
right?
Yeah,
all the time.
Yeah,
day and night.
Yeah. Anyway, a lot of times when you photograph models, their name isn't so much unless they're like a huge model, like Cindy Crawford or something like that.
Yeah.
If you
wait, Cindy Crawford you go to?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You're dating yourself.
Yeah. Oh gosh, man. That
Anyway.
so,
All right. So you've done modeling for
various brands, but
clothing
yeah,
lines, brands. Okay.
yeah. So that's it. I mean, if you happen to come across the bigger folks out there, happen to come across a catalog, and you're like, hey, that guy looks familiar. It's
So you
Hey.
you work on both sides of the camera. How about that?
Yeah, it was. I don't know. It was a couple of years ago. I decided to give it a shot because I know how to pose people. And then I think, how did this start? I was posing someone, and then someone else said, "Hey, you already know what to do." But the thing is, I know what to do when I'm on this side of the lens, but when I'm on the other side, it's out the door. I forget.
Hard to see and hard to
I forget. So I act like an idiot again. But the ball started rolling, and so that's it.
Cool.
There's a few brands out there. Yeah. Anyway, so on to the next.
The other surprise,
in
the listo topics.
So we have a lot of cameras in this car.
I
1,
can
2,
see
3,
6,
4,
7,
5, 6, 7 in this car. But
there's 7 in front of us. Because I'm counting the smartphones.
Well, sir.
Wait a minute. Now he's putting another camera
Well,
in front
that
of me.
case, then, because now I'm counting the cameras, then there's 10 in this car.
Yeah.
So, I actually find myself grabbing this phone stays in the car. This is my drone phone, but the funny thing is I actually use this is the first generation Google Pixel.
Uh-huh.
Man, when you add the quality right off the bat of the cameras that come in this thing, and then you throw in machine learning, because Google's a big machine learning company.
Mm-hmm.
The images that come out of this thing are amazing, even though this is the first gen, and I think we're like, on our 3.5 gens later,
right?
Is what Google has. And I still find myself using these, and I never thought I would be using a smartphone to take pictures. I'm an outlier. A lot of people use these things as a primary camera. Right. I said, you know what? I have all this gear here. Why would I ever use this thing? Well, it turns out these things take. In particular, this one here takes decent shots. This one here does an okay job. This one is from a company you don't really see a lot in the U.S. They're called Show Me. Well, you do see them a lot in other forms,
just not in smartphone form.
They make the scooters that are in everyone's sidewalk across
in everyone's town.
Yeah. Anyway, so smartphones.
So it's interesting because I did. I think like mid-June it went on my channel. I had gotten a bunch of questions, and my phone's ancient in terms of smartphone. Mm-hmm. This is a 6S Plus, so it's like
wow. You thought I was dating myself with Cindy Crawford?
Newer than Cindy. Nothing wrong with Cindy. I love Cindy, but did a whole shoot with just the smartphone. So, see how it did, see how it performed, and that's not. There were a couple of challenges I had with that particular phone, but it still did pretty well. It's one of those, if you're out and you don't have anything else. Because I was the same way. It's like, I'm not going to bother taking the photo because it's not going to be all that great. Mm-hmm. As long as, at least with the older phone, if there's enough light, it's going to be good.
Yeah.
And you're right about the...
That's true.
Like, the cooking that it will do for JPEGs looks great. Or, capture it in RAW. I mean, these phones, like the Lightroom app, will capture it in a DNG format for any reasonably modern phone. I think that one is the first, like the oldest model. They still support that on.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I learned that through comments around the video that I did. But
wow.
Yeah, they're actually pretty good. I got a really nice photo of. This was someone who was on my workshop, and we do the same thing. Like, he's there, he's got his tripod, like thing, the Sony cameras on it, and we're standing in front of these huge C stacks, and then I have a picture of him taking a picture of the scene with his smartphone.
Yes,
and it's like, and we do that because you super quick social share, or I did it earlier this morning for just some of the scouting stuff. Like, okay, it's this one's a scouting photo, but they're surprisingly good, or at least surprisingly good to me, because I had always discounted them.
This is actually a bigger topic than I originally thought, because these phones are now doing a lot of the heavy lifting in my workflow.
Yeah.
Like I'll do a lot of mobile editing on these things.
So you're using it as a mobile editor too. You're still capturing with your
and they'll edit
primary
RAWs.
camera.
Yeah.
Send the raw over, and then that way you've got the mobility straight away.
Yeah, and actually, as of the recording time, in 1 week, in 6 days, I'll be doing a class at Nelson's Photo in town here in San Diego on this stuff. So, yeah, the smartphones, man, don't discount them. Oh, I mean, discount them and get them cheaper, but I mean, don't
don't dismiss them.
Yeah, don't dismiss them. So, I always just kind of stayed away because it wasn't as flexible. The dynamic range wasn't there. But like you said, if the lighting is right, I mean, if the lighting is right, it's hard to take a bad picture.
Yeah, they, like any device, they have their limitations.
Yeah.
And so, like any camera, know what it's good for and what it's not so good for.
I see a photographers in cars shootout. Me with a tripod in camera, you with a tripod and smartphone.
I don't even know if I'd bother with the tripod. Oh, that would look pretty awesome. My smartphone on the top of my monster really right stuff ball.
Oh, so the funny thing is I actually have a smartphone
I have one of those too.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I forget why I had it and what it came with, but I've got one. I usually pair it with like a little desk tripod if I'm trying to do something where I'm filming something close up when I'm working dials or something like that. Yeah.
I mean, a lot of the drones out there have the same smartphone sensor size, and they're in the drones, and they take these great pictures. And this is the DJI Osmo Pocket. The sensor I think the sensor in these may actually be a little bigger than what you'll see in some phones, but these are smaller sensor cameras, and they actually do a decent job. So
yeah.
Anyway,
so those are our surprises.
Yeah.
I don't have any other surprises.
Yeah, man.
This is where I wish I had
be a model.
A clown pop up in the back. Surprise!
Oh, my God! And then our attack, and then that's how we end the episode. Surprise! Yeah. Anyway.
Right there, it was cut. Right there. Okay. That was it.
Nice.
That was it.
Oh, hey, that actually worked out really well.
That actually did work out pretty well. Cool.
Oh, man.